looking at Alejandro Garnacho in the past, these are the two players that could be potentially on their way to Italy, but they're on the list, but not quite the priority players. Jack Grealish and Raheem Sterling. According to Sky in Italy, they're on the list of alternative wingers that Napoli are looking at in this transfer window. They're not the priority signings for them, but I think later on down the window, we could see moves for these two players because they've clearly got very limited options at their current club. Raheem Sterling, before he joined Arsenal on loan, wasn't training with the Chelsea first team. Jack Grealish didn't even travel with the Manchester City squad for the Club World Cup, £100 million signing a few years back. Both players face very uncertain futures at their clubs, but both players still got significant contracts and 2 years left on those deals as well. We understand that Fulham are keeping an eye on the situation around Raheem Sterling, but they're pressing ahead with deals for Reece Nelson and Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. But I think because of the contracts in mind and the fees and the wages involved, I do think that if any deals materialise, it would be later on down the window because you'd think there'd have to be a significant compromise from these two players when it comes to wages and the clubs in the form of Chelsea and Manchester City in terms of any sort of fee.
Sometimes we forget there's so long left still in the window as well. Right, so one player may well depart Manchester City in this window, but Manchester City set to sign a player that they used to have previously.
Thank goodness for Saudi Arabia when you take a look at the money that Chelsea have made by flogging the players that they really didn't want overseas. João Felix, the latest one, who'll be making the move for €30 million. You take a look at who Chelsea have brought in so far. Meanwhile, this summer, God, again, Jan, it's a lot of ins and outs.
You mean the best club in the world? This is the best club in the world.
Yes, indeed. Don't start the Chelsea fans. Get angry.
Why shouldn't I'm just waiting for Shaka's power ranking of the Premier League now is quite interesting. But you have to say to them, they are fair to their kind of plan. They have a defined kind of players they want to get in. But when we now see that they are linked to Xavi Simons, I mean, that is Nkunku again, isn't it? I mean, yes, Nkunku had his injuries, but there is something about that. We were talking about how you spend your money. Go for the big ones, I understand. Go for the biggest talents, yes, I understand. But if you take these players, I mean, João Felix is the best example, isn't he? You just get a feeling, when did he last have 5-6 games where he played well? He's one of those floaters. He's just floating around between the big clubs, and now we end up in the Saudis. So Chelsea, they are truthful to their strategy, but I'm not sure that they have to take all the numbers they do. I mean, go for the big ones, but I can't understand why they have to go for so many of them.
You've seen Simons play more than us, Jan. How would you describe him? How would he fit in the Premier League? He's only 22.
Yeah, yes, he is. And, I mean, it's unfair. I mean, in our time, we need him to be good straight away. Back in the days, this was a young kid who will take his time and improve to be a good player. Now you're going to be a finished article. I'm not sure about Simons, that he will take the next step. How will he do Chelsea better? You just get a feeling that they have that kind of personality, and I use the phrase personality for a reason. There are so many players on that personal level. He's a brilliant player, but is he able to take the next step into that? He's been linked to Bayern Munich. He's been linked to different clubs. Will he take the next step? And don't they have that kind of type of player in their team?
Will he take the next step, Jan, in your opinion?
You made a valid point. He's 22. I mean, there are players now world-class who were on loan. Martin Ødegaard were on loan, came back, took the next step. Real Sociedad, captain of Arsenal. You never know by these players. But there's something about Xavi Simons' temperament I'm not 100% convinced of. Is he the guy that can go from being a good player and then turn himself into the great player? I mean, there are some players you see that potential. I'm not sure about Xavi Simons.
What about Hato? What can you tell us about him, Jan?
The Ajax defender. They
is that it?
Yeah, we are talking about the same guy. Yes. I have to put on my glasses now.
Yes.
They say he's the biggest talent in Europe in terms of defense. I saw, because I knew we were going to talk a bit about him, so I did a bit searching here. Here it is anyway. And he's played 112 appearances in 3 seasons for the Ajax first team. He is 19. They say he's a good player. You see, he's 5'11". and that I do understand because they say his weakness is headers. The aerial duels is his weakness. But they say in Holland this is one of the biggest defender talents they've ever had, or for many years. So I guess that's what I mean about Chelsea. If you're interested in one of those, the Xavi Simons will be the guys you already have, you know. But this defender, they say, is the next big thing. So hopefully we'll see you in the Premier League.
Will Chelsea be in the title race come May, Jan?
But that's interesting now, the power ranking. If you do the transfer window now, you will go Liverpool, you will go Arsenal, you will go Chelsea, and then you will go Manchester City.
Chelsea ahead
and
of
that
City.
is I think so now. They're the best club in the world, so they have to go for it. So yeah, Chelsea got to go for it. I'm not sure. It's interesting, but we will talk much more about this when they're getting close. I know Manchester City, by the bookies, are on third position, but have they improved very much? Do they rely that Rodri is coming back? Is Guardiola taking the next step? If you see PSG, all these teams, intense, not so many passes, going for it, counter-attacks. I mean, when was the last time you saw a counter-attack at Manchester City? It's going to be a very interesting season to see if they are able to make the next step in the trend of football. And we say that in a Pep Guardiola, who is always the guy who were ahead of everybody else. I think it's too easy to put it down only to Rodri for Manchester City to take the next step.
So what's more likely, Jan? Chelsea to be in the title race come May, say with 2 or 3 games to go, or Chelsea not making the top 4?
I would say that the confidence they have, I think they will use the Club World Cup to have a fantastic start of the Premier League season. But I still think that there will be a battle for them also to come in top 4, because it's going to be unbelievable tight this season.
Did you answer my question?
No.
No? Would you like to answer the question?
No, I didn't get it. No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't think that Chelsea can take the next step.
Right.
But I'm sure they're doing a lot of right things at Chelsea at the moment. We have to give them credit for that. And we also have to give them credit, although there are people who don't like this Club World Cup, but the way they played in the final, we have to give them a big compliment for that. And if they can take some of that into the new season, and use that way of their playing, and Maresca can only get better with this team. So young kids will get them to play the way they want. So I can see Chelsea be up there.
Yeah, remember Chelsea only won the Club World Cup though because of the pitch, according to Stevie. Chelsea fans.
yeah, exactly. I was on that show.
Chelsea should move to New Jersey.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. Thank
Chelsea are back in the headlines again. This time, it's Ajax wonderkid Jorrel Hato edging closer to a move to Stamford Bridge. At just 19, the Dutch defender looks set to become the latest addition to Chelsea's ever-growing list of young talents. But that's not all. There's movement both in and out of the club, with goalkeeper Mike Penders heading to France, and more senior players potentially up for sale. Welcome to Sport Lab, where we break down the stories behind the transfers. Let's get into Chelsea's latest moves. First up, Jorrel Hato. According to The Athletic, Chelsea are closing in on a deal worth over €40 million for the highly rated Ajax defender. While a full agreement hasn't been finalized between the clubs, the gap appears small, and personal terms are already in place. Hato reportedly asked not to be included in Ajax's squad for the Como Cup final on Sunday, a clear signal that his exit may be imminent. At just 19, he's already captained Ajax and brings the kind of versatility Chelsea's recruitment team has been targeting, capable of playing at centre-back or left-back in a back 4 or a 3. But with Chelsea already heavy in defence, the question is, where does Hato fit? Is this a signing for now, or another long-term project? Meanwhile, another young talent is on the move, Mike Penders. Signed last summer for around £17 million from Genk, the Belgian goalkeeper has yet to play for Chelsea's senior side. After spending last season back on loan at Genk, he'll now head to League One with RC Strasbourg on a season-long loan. This move fits neatly into the Blue Co multi-club model, which has already seen Strasbourg become a development hub for Chelsea talent. Penders joins a growing list of Chelsea loanees aiming to get consistent minutes away from the Premier League spotlight. But with new names arriving, who's heading out? Chelsea's bloated squad means they're once again under pressure to sell, not just for balance, but also to satisfy financial fair play requirements. One surprise name being discussed is Christopher Nkunku. Despite impressing at the Club World Cup, his role could be under threat with Simons potentially arriving. Chelsea might consider moving him on if the right offer comes in. Raheem Sterling, back from a forgettable spell at Arsenal, is also facing an uncertain future, while others like Ben Chilwell, Renato Vega, and Axel Disasi were out on loan last season and could be sold permanently. Young talent Carney Chukwuemeka is also drawing interest, particularly from RB Leipzig. After a half-season loan at Borussia Dortmund, Leipzig are pushing to bring him in, and he still has 3 years on his Chelsea deal. And Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, recently signed from Leicester, is already attracting attention, with Fulham reportedly interested. It's a familiar story at Chelsea: big spending, young prospects, and an overflowing squad. While Jorrel Hato's arrival would be another high-potential signing, the pressure is on Chelsea to offload smartly, not just for squad space, but to finally build something stable. So, how do you rate Chelsea's approach this summer? Is Hato worth the price? Who should they prioritize selling? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you want more smart, detailed football analysis, subscribe to SportLab and turn on notifications. We'll see you in the next one.